And for this part, listen to activate vocabulary, listen to each conversation, and complete the chart with the pet and its pros and cons. You see, when we talk about positive aspect of a pet, we say it's pros, advantage. When we talk about negative aspect of an animal, this is possible cons. It means disadvantage. Now, let's listen please, and you should say which one is advantage, which one is not advantage. Listen please, number.
Page 66. Vocabulary. Describing pets. Exercise A. Read and listen. And complete the chart with the pet and its pros and cons. Use the vocabulary. Listen again if necessary. Conversation 1.
Honey, there's this guy Ethan who works in the mailroom at the office.
Yeah?
Well, he's looking for a good home for his cat. Apparently, his wife is allergic.
Uh-huh.
I felt sorry for the cat, so I went over to his place, and the cat's amazing. And you know how much I've always wanted one.
Uh-oh.
No, seriously. What would you think of adopting it and taking it in as our cat?
I'm not so sure. I've heard they shed and their hair gets all over everything. On the furniture, on your clothes. I couldn't put up with that. Who wants to clean up cat hair all the time?
Well, this one's a Siamese. They're not supposed to shed their hair as much as other cats. And you know, cats don't need much. They're pretty easy to take care of.
I suppose that's true. My grandmother had one, and I have to admit, her cat was very sweet and loving.
Conversation 2.
Oh, isn't she a cutie?
I guess.
Look at her with those long ears. Aren't you a cute little rabbit?
Look, I'm not so sure a rabbit is a good idea.
Come on, the kids would love her.
Yeah, and they'd scare her to death. Rabbits get frightened really easily, you know.
But the kids have always wanted a rabbit, and everyone says rabbits are great with kids. They're not dangerous at all.
Well, I suppose taking care of a rabbit would teach them a little responsibility.
I'm sure it would. They'd have to feed it every day, and they'd have to learn not to scare it.
Conversation 3.
What would you think about getting a parrot?
What? You're kidding, right? You know they cost an arm and a leg.
Who cares? They make great companions. Once they get used to you, they're really friendly and love attention.
I don't know. I've heard they can do a lot of damage. They like to chew on things like wooden chairs.
Well, not if you keep them in a cage.
And I've heard they require a lot of care and attention. Between feeding them and cleaning the cage, it's a ton of work.
Well, just think about it, okay?
Conversation 4.
You know, there have been 3 burglaries in our neighborhood in the last month. I think we should get a big watchdog.
Are you serious? We don't need a dog.
If we had a dog and someone tried to break in, it would make a lot of noise and scare them away.
To be honest, I think a big dog would be more trouble than it's worth. It could be very hard to control, and then we'd have to worry about it hurting the kids.
Oh, come on. It depends on the kind of dog you get. Most big dogs are active and fun-loving. They love to play with kids. And all dogs are very reliable and attentive to their owners, both adults and kids.
Okay. Let's go to this part. In what way can an animal be a good companion to a child? Be a good friend with a child or an adult? What do you think? Answer please, record your voice and send it to me. Do you know anyone who is too attached to her or her pet? Why do you think some people get emotionally close to their animal? Okay, think about it and record your voice. Think about these two questions. Record your voice and send it to me, please. Let's go to this part. You see, there is a conversation. Let's listen. Number.
Page 67. Conversation Spotlight. Exercise A. Read and listen. Notice the spotlighted conversation strategies.
Do you think a poodle would make a good pet?
Actually, I'm not so sure. I've heard they're really high maintenance.
In what way?
Well, for one thing, they need a lot of attention. I'd consider getting a guinea pig instead.
Why a guinea pig?
Well, they're very low maintenance. And besides, they're really gentle.
But what if you were looking for something a bit more affectionate than a guinea pig?
Then I'd get a cat. They're affectionate and they're low maintenance.
Okay. Read this part. Any question, please ask. Okay, read this part and record your voice, send it to me, please. And complete the chart with animals that make good and bad pets. You see, animals that make exceptionally good pets. Write their names and give reason why do you think this animal can be good pet. And animals that make really bad pets. Write their names here and give reason why do you think such kind of animals can be bad pets. Okay, for example, you can use these adjective box too. For example, attractive, cute, dangerous, disgusting, energetic, fascinating, frightening, funny, intelligent, noisy, patient, quiet, and ugly. You can use in order to explain your reasons. Let's go to this part. Animal social groups. We are going to talk about groups of animals. Let's listen.
Page 67. Rhythm and intonation. Listen again and repeat. Then practice the conversation with a partner.
Oh, wait, please.
Exercise A. Read and listen. Animal social groups.
A flock of birds.
It means,
A herd of cattle. A school of fish.
you see, it means a group of birds, a group of cattle, cows, and a group of fish.
A pack of wolves.
A group of wolves. We call it a pack of wolves.
Physical features.
Claws.
Claw means چنگولش رو بهش میگن claw.
Hooves.
Hoof, you see, hooves is plural. The singular is hoof, which means thumb.
A hoof. A beak.
منقار, beak.
Horns.
This is شاخشون.
Now listen again and repeat.
A flock of birds. A herd of cattle. A school of fish. A pack of wolves.
Claws. Hooves. A hoof. A beak. Horns.
Okay, in this part, you should write the name of animals which have claws, animals which have hooves, animals which have horns. Write the names of the animals that you know. And which animals the powerful beaks, animals that can travel in packs, you see, that can travel in packs, for example, a flock of goose, animals that gather in herds, you see, herds. Write them, fill in the blanks, and send the picture to me. Listen to this part. You should find examples while you are listening and answering to this question. For example, a benefit of social group. What is it? A benefit of social group for prey. It means the animal which is killed And predator means animals which kill other animals in order to eat them. What do you think? Listen please and then answer. Number, wait a minute please.
To part one of the lecture again. With a partner, find an example from the listening to explain each of the following.
In today's lecture, we will continue our talk about animal behavior. Much of animal behavior can be explained as instinct. That is, behavior that is already programmed into animals at birth. It is behavior that does not need to be learned. For example, animals instinctively reproduce and care for their young, and they instinctively behave in certain ways to survive in nature. One of the stark realities of the animal world is that most species fall into one of two categories: predators, those that hunt other animals for food, or prey, those hunted by predators. In fact, many animals actually play both roles in nature, sometimes as predators and sometimes as prey. For those that are prey, instinct drives them to behave in ways that protect them from predators in order to survive. For example, fish swim in huge schools, moving almost as one organism as they search for food. By traveling in a group, they can confuse predators. But more importantly, this behavior increases the chance that predators will choose to eat the fish that are not swimming in the school. In order to hunt, predators also often travel in groups or packs. They work together and use their combined intelligence to single out their prey from the herd or the flock, increasing the chance of success and ensuring their own survival. Hunting in a pack also makes it possible to kill prey that are larger than the predators are. For example, while one lion couldn't kill a young elephant alone, several lions hunting together could. Instinct also drives animals to either lead or follow. In a herd, or even in a pack of predators, some animals are born to be more dominant than others. Animals will often fight each other for that top position. For example, in a herd of horses, the strongest or the smartest horse may play a more dominant role in the herd and lead the others, which is crucial for everyone's survival. Another aspect of the predator-prey relationship is what is called a fight or flight response. When predators approach their prey, the prey may instinctually respond in one of two ways. One way is to stand its ground, using hooves, horns, claws, or teeth to fight back and drive the predator away. However, if it can't do that, it will try to get away as quickly as possible.
Okay, let's go to the next part. You see there is an example here. In this picture, you see some situations that animals try to save their life. As you heard, which of these in situations do you think illustrate learned behavior as opposed to instinct? Explain your reason based on the information that you just listened to. For example, number one, hungry baby birds open their beaks wide so that an adult will put a worm inside. Part B is baby rabbits quickly follow their mother away from a potential predator. And part C, young cats respond to perceived danger by getting ready to run away for fight. Which one is right? Okay, let's go to this part. In what way do you think humans are same as animals? For example, they are living in the same group together, or they are different from animals. For example, they can kill each other easily. You see, as a food, this is different. And in which way animals and humans are the same, they are similar, and in which parts they are different. What do you think? Write your answers here, take a photo and send it to me, please. Okay, page, it was page. I guess we should go to page, wait a minute please. Okay, let's go to this part. There is a reading, we are going to read it and then we are going to answer some questions. Listen please.
Exercise B. Read the stories. What do you think ensured the survival of the buffalo in the U.S.?
The will to make a difference. We live on a planet that is rich in biodiversity.
You see, biodiversity. Diversity means different and bio means different ways of living. Okay? Different ways of living.
There are millions of different species of animals and plants across the globe. Yet many species are disappearing at an alarming rate, as the habitats in which plants and animals live together are reduced year after year.
Habitat. Habitat means the place that people are living, or animals and peoples are living.
Currently, 11,000 species of plants and animals, including over 180 mammals, are at risk of becoming extinct because of this loss of habitat. Once gone, their disappearance is irreversible.
Extinct means a group of animals died. Okay, all members of a group of animals died.
Cannot be brought back. In its fast development as a nation over the last 300 years, the United States has experienced some dramatic shifts in animal populations. Here is the story of a dismal failure and a remarkable success story. The passenger pigeon.
Pigeon, kabutar.
European visitors to North America told amazing stories about huge flocks of passenger pigeons that darkened the sky for hours as they flew south for winter.
Flock of animal means a flock of pigeons means a group of birds. Here means a group of pigeons.
They were easy targets for hunters, delicious to eat, and useful.
Hunter animals that kill other animals in order to eat them.
For making feather beds.
Or sometimes people who eat other animals in order to eat them.
Estimates put their total population at about 5 billion, the same number as the population of all birds combined in the U.S. today. By the mid-1800s, the hunting of passenger pigeons had become a large-scale commercial enterprise.
Hunting here means killing animals.
Supplying East Coast cities with a steady supply of birds. Around 300,000 a year were sent to New York City alone. At the same time, their habitat and food sources were shrinking as...
Shrinking means reducing. Reducing. The amount was reduced.
Forests were cut down for farming and construction. In addition, approximately 250,000 birds were killed simply for sport each year.
Approximately, nearly.
Making matters worse, a female passenger pigeon laid only one egg each year. By the turn of the 20th century, any attempts to save the passenger pigeon were too late. The last surviving pigeon died in the Cincinnati Zoo in 1914, a species lost forever. The American bison, or buffalo. Before European settlers came to North America, there were more than 50 million buffalo roaming in huge herds across the continent's central flatlands, which are today known as the Great Plains. These strange-looking, magnificent creatures, with their furry heads and shoulders and distinctive horns, were an important resource for food, clothing, and shelter for Native Americans living on the plains.
Be careful. This part is really important. They were killed because of food, clothing, and making shelter.
And they played an enormous part in the plains ecosystem.
Enormous means very big. Ecosystem means the place that people, humans, animals, plants are living together in cooperation, in communication, and they are living together in nature.
Sustaining other animals and plants. Weaker buffalo provided food for predators like bears and wolves.
Predators means animals which kill other animals in order to eat their meat.
Attracted birds that picked at buffalo fur for insects. Thousands of hooves walking over the landscape prevented aggressive plants from taking over. In the 1800s, as new settlers moved from the east to settle the west, whole herds were slaughtered, often just
Slaughtered, killed.
sport. Buffalo were considered an obstacle to the settlers' desire to grow crops and raise cattle. The resource that sustained Native Americans for centuries began to disappear. By the end of the 1800s, there were as few as 750 buffalo remaining. Many people were shocked that the buffalo, long considered a symbol of the West, had been allowed to come so close to extinction. Fortunately, efforts to save them were begun in 1905. The remaining herds were gathered together and protected. Their number steadily increased to today's population of about 350,000. What conclusion can we draw from these stories? In the case of the passenger pigeon, extinction was occurring so fast that even with efforts to save them, it was too late to act. However, we can see that with the American buffalo, conservation efforts can make a difference if they are begun early enough.
Okay, please read this text, record your voice, and send it to me. And we were in this part, I guess. Yes. There are some questions which are related to this text, and I explain almost all of them. You should choose the right meaning for each question. For example, for biodiversity, I explain the meaning. Which one is the best answer? Or I explain what's the meaning of habitat. Read the options and say please what is the best answer. Take a photo and send it to me. What are the 4 reasons passenger pigeons became extinct? They were killed. What was the reason? Why did the conversation effort fail? You should find the answer in a text and write it. Why did settlers hunt the buffalo? And how did the buffalo come so close to extinction? Find the answer of this question too. Write it and take a photo, send it to me, please. You see, in this part, there are some arguments for and against animal conservation. Which arguments are the strongest for each side of animal, and which one is the weakest? You see, there are some statements which are for animals and humans, which means you can agree on it easily, and some are against them. Okay, what do you think? What is your idea after reading them? You should write your idea in this part and take a photo. So please start reading them and read your answer too. Record your voice and send it to me. Thank you very much. Let's go to this part. In this part, when you want to write and persuade, you want to write a paragraph and you want to persuade your readers. How do you want to do that? You should state your point of view in introduction section. This is introduction section. And support your point of view. You should give examples or explain it. Another effective technique to demonstrate the weaknesses of opposing argument. For example, when you say what are the negative points of people who do not believe in your idea, you can support it too and summarize the main points. You should summarize almost all of the main points. For supporting your idea, you can use these expressions. For one thing, for example, for instance, furthermore. For expert opinions, you can say, for example, Professor Smith states that, according to Riva, who is a famous person, states that, you see. And refute opposing arguments, you can use it can be argued that, however. For conclusion, you can use in conclusion, in summary, and to sum. There's an example here. You can find these words and find out which are going to support the ideas in writing a paragraph. So this is the writing model. Be careful. In this part, you should complete the argument to support the point of view. For example, at the beginning, zoos can play an increasingly important role in animal conservation. For the one thing, at the beginning, you see, take a look at here. For the one thing, a zoo is good environment for scientists. Then we want to continue. You can make example. According to Dutch scientists, You see, you are giving example based on somebody according to. We don't use sum up because it comes at the conclusion. And by visiting zoos with families, this is an example. And to sum up, when you are giving in conclusion summary, you can use to sum. Write a short essay in which you express your opinion on treatment of animals on farms or in research. What do you think about them? You can use these structures. Write your paragraph. Let me know about what do you think about animals and keeping after them, for example, in zoos, farms, and research areas. Write it, take a photo, and send it to me, please. Let's go to this part. You're going to choose a phrase that best completes a statement. There's a listening part. You should listen. Let's listen together. Then we are going to complete it.
Choose the phrase that best completes each statement, according to the program. Part 1. As part of our 4-part series on animal-assisted therapy, today's report by Tina Rotenberg focuses on some special human and animal relationships.
When people become quadriplegics, they lose more than control of their arms and legs. They lose control of their lives. Each day is a challenge to regain more control and become more independent. Many quadriplegics use an electric wheelchair to move around, but family or friends cannot always be there to assist them. In recent years, capuchin monkeys have been trained to help improve their lives. These intelligent and dexterous monkeys have hands similar to human hands. They assist quadriplegics by performing practical tasks such as serving food, opening and closing doors, turning lights on and off, and retrieving objects. Capuchins are dependable and devoted helpmates, giving their partners independence, dignity, and companionship.
Okay, let's listen to the next part.
2. And choose the phrase that best completes each statement. Part 2.
Children who have autism, Down syndrome, and other mental or physical conditions are often not responsive and have difficulty interacting with people and learning to talk. But in Miami, Florida, children like these are swimming with dolphins in a special program that is showing some promising results. Dolphins are extremely intelligent and gentle animals, and they show a special fondness for children. When the children swim with them, the dolphins are playful, and they make noises that sound like singing. Scientists theorize that because children have a natural capacity for joy and playfulness, this time spent together helps the children relax and open up. After swimming with dolphins just 2 or 3 times, some children can speak their first words. Many of these children also become more interactive and respond better to people after therapy.
Okay. Part C. Change the adjectives in each statement to make sense. A relaxed pet that is good with a kid is destructive, or it's not destructive. You should select another adjective. You see, we talked about adjectives at the beginning, at the first page. A cat that can open and scratches people with its claws is affectionate. No, actually, it's aggressive. A pet that is loving and friendly is cute, it's funny. You see, it's not aggressive. Find the best adjective here and fill in the blanks. Complete each statement with vocabulary from the unit. Passenger pigeons used to fly together in a very large, I told you, instead of saying group of birds, we say a cat is a mammal and a frog is an animal which can live in both in earth and water. Is called amphibian, I told you. Dogs that do not have owners sometimes hang out together in, what is it? You should find the answer. Okay. And in this part, 4 of the topics use passive modals to state your opinion. For example, about animals, what do you think? Hunting should be banned because it is inhuman. What is your idea? Use passive models in order to write sentences about animals, about medical research, fighting pets, extinction, and hunting animals, or even keeping after animals in the zoos. Write 4 sentences, take a photo, and send it to me, please. And that's it. Have a nice time and goodbye. See you.